Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Moments with Maurice. Today, I want to talk about real estate investing. More specifically, I want to talk about why I decided to get into real estate investing. But before I get started on this topic, I want you to do me a favor. If you will subscribe, if you will like, and if you find this content interesting or informational and inspirational, feel free to share. Appreciate it. But let's get into it. Real estate investing. Why do people get into real estate investing? I don't really have a full answer, but I would like to think that people get into real estate investing for the financial gain. Maybe it's something that their parents did. Maybe something they heard about that is lucrative. Maybe it was a passion of theirs, right? I don't really know, but I come to tell you why I got into real estate investing. Now, my story is probably a little bit different. And so I hope that through my story, through my testimony, you'll be inspired, you'll be motivated to get into it, right? Or to at least take something from what you'll hear me say here today on Moments with Maurice. So why did I get into real estate investing? Well, in order to tell you that, I have to go all the way back to around 2002 as a 15-year-old boy. I know you're probably thinking, you can't be into real estate investing as a 15-year-old boy. Who was thinking like that as a 15-year-old boy? Well, no, my story's a little different. So here we go. So let me set the stage for you. So 2002, I'm 14, about to be 15, or 15, about to be 16. I'm not really sure. 2002, I believe I'm about to be 16 years old. And I'm at my friend/cousin's house, and we're playing. And I get a call. This is not during the time where cell phones were prevalent, but I get a call, and my friend's mom says, "Hey, Maurice, it's your mom." And I'd be thinking, "Oh man, I'm in trouble. Did I not clean my room or something before I left?" So she gets on the phone and she says, "Hey, I need you to come home, and I need you to come home now." And I said to her, "Okay, am I in trouble?" She's like, "No, just get here now." I was like, "Well, Mom, I rode my bike, went across town. This is when we actually got on our bike and went places on our bikes. So it took me a minute." She said, "Okay, well, just get here as fast as you can." I said, "Okay." So I'm riding my bike home and not really knowing what to expect at all. But I noticed as I'm getting closer to my house, I noticed that there is a deputy's car in the driveway. So I'm thinking, oh God, why would a police officer be in my driveway? So I walk up, so I put my bike down, I walk up, and this deputy, he's standing outside, and he looks very annoyed. And that's one thing I'll always remember, is like this annoyed look that he had on his face. And I walk inside, and my mom, she hands me 2 black trash bags. And she says, "Son, I need you to grab all your clothes." And I said, "Okay." So I noticed that other family members were grabbing their stuff as well. And I'm thinking to myself, why am I grabbing my clothes? So I grab all my clothes and I put them in a bag, and I can hear the deputy saying, hurry up, you gotta go. And I'm thinking, what in the world? Now, remind you, this is my childhood home. This is the home I've been in for 15, 16 years of my life. It's the only home that I can remember. It's the only home that I know. And I remember I asked my mom, I had got my clothes, I asked my mom, I said, "Well, do I need to get my toy box?" And she said, "No, you can't take that." And I said, "Oh, okay." So that I assumed that we were coming back for it. And I said, "Well, can I get my boom box?" And now this wasn't just any boom box. It was one of those that had like a little small TV in it that my godfather had given me. And the toy box was important because it's one that my favorite cousin had given me. And so I absolutely loved that toy box, even at 15, 16 years old. So she said I couldn't take the toy box, and she said I couldn't take the boom box. And I stuck to myself, well, where are we going? And so I asked my mom, I said, Mom, where are we going? Now, mind you, this deputy is, hurry up, gotta go, you know? I said, Mom, where are we going? She said, well, I don't know yet. What do you mean you don't know yet? But one thing I remember was when I got ready to walk in the house, there was a sign posted on the door, and it was red. I don't remember exactly what it said. But ultimately, we were getting foreclosed on. We were getting foreclosed on, and we had minutes to grab what we can grab. And I had to leave things that were important, that were a big deal to me, given to me by people who I look up to, and people who I admired, and people who helped raise me and helped grow me into the man I am today. I had to leave those items behind because we were getting foreclosed on. So I remember grabbing the stuff, and I remember my mom saying, I said, Mama, where are we going? And she says, we're going to your grandmama's house. I said, well, she lives in Durham. And I'm not understanding why all of a sudden this home that I have been in my whole life, we now have to leave, and all we can grab is a bag full of clothes, right? And so, unbeknownst to myself, I made up in my mind that day that when I got old enough, that never was going to happen to me. But what I didn't know is that it was trauma that I had gotten on that day. It was trauma. It was something that bothered me. It was something that drove me. It was something that motivated me. And I had decided that day that this would never happen to me when I got an adult, because I remember the feeling. I remember the emptiness. I remember the frustration. I remember not understanding the why and what foreclosure was, and why we couldn't come back to this, the only room that I'd ever known, the only bed that I had ever known, the only space that I'd ever known, what I had called home for so many years. And in 15 minutes, it was no longer our home. So we ended up moving to my grandmama's house. We ended up moving to my grandmama's house. And I was in 11th grade. I was going to the 11th grade. I didn't want to switch schools. I didn't want to leave my friends. I didn't want to start this new life in this new city. And so my mom allowed me to stay with my best friend, or my / cousin, right? So I stayed there for a while. But to fast forward to 10, 15 years later, I'm sitting in therapy. And I'm sitting in therapy because I am now a divorced grown man. And the therapist she says, Maurice, I think we can't just start here with therapy. I think we got to go back into some places in your childhood. That'll help me better understand. And so we got to talking about my work ethic. And she says, why do you feel the need to work all the time? Why do you feel the need to put so much energy and effort into work when you're missing out on things that you enjoy, and hobbies, and all these different things about yourself that you need to discover, but you would just rather work? And I said, because I'm never going to allow anyone to put me out of my house. I'm never going to allow my children to get foreclosed. I'm never going to allow them to just come to a house one day, everything they know is no more. And that is when it hit me that it was trauma, and I was not dealing with it in the right way. I was not dealing with it in a way that was healthy for me or healthy for my children. All I could think about when I became a dad is, I'm going to give these kids a house, and no one's ever going to be able to come and take it away from them. All right? So I had to understand through therapy that there's a balance to life. And so I said to myself, okay, how can I turn this pain into purpose. What can I do to not let something negative that happened in my life, something that was so traumatic for me that happened in my life, how can I turn it into something positive? And so I said, you know what? I'm gonna buy myself a home. And then when I get in position, I'm gonna buy another home and another home and another home and another home until I can almost guarantee myself that I won't be homeless, right? But I was like, no, Maurice, you can't live in all these homes that you're gonna buy, right? So of course, rent it out. That's where the real estate investing come in. So I got into real estate to be able to provide people with an affordable home. Affordable at this day and age is just a term where it's an open term, right? And meaning that what's affordable to someone else may not be affordable to the other person, right? But what I wanted to do was I wanted to buy homes to create homes where people can come and live and they can afford it. And they don't ever have to have anyone come knock on their door and simply tell them you have 15 minutes to get out, right? My passion for real estate investing, yeah, the money is great, right? Yeah, the idea that I'm doing something bigger than myself and I'm breaking generational curses is great. But for me, it's to see people in a home that I purchased, that I made beautiful for them, to have a place to lay their head and no one can come and take it from them because it's simply affordable. Now, I don't know my parents' financial situation at the time, and I had really good parents. And so I feel like everybody hits hard times throughout life, and it never made me look at them differently. It never made me think my mom was a bad mom. It never made me think my dad was a bad dad, because I think I understood that if they could have, they would have. But I also understand that I didn't want to go down that road. I didn't want to take my children down that road. I remember when I was in therapy because of divorce. I remember when I got divorced, I panicked. I panicked because we went from 2 incomes to 1 income, and it was just on me and the kids were living with me. And I'm thinking, oh no, I'm gonna make sure no sheriff deputy can ever come knock on the door and take us out of our home, right? And so I've been working hard, but I decided to turn that pain that happened to me when I was a young boy into purpose. And so my purpose today is to provide people with a place to stay, with no worry, no fear that someone's gonna come knocking on their door and kick them out of their home. And I want to, before I end this message, I want to encourage you with 2 things. The first thing is, we all have trauma. Therapy works. The second thing is, I don't know your belief system, but I'm a Christian and I believe and I trust God. The second thing is, you can go to therapy and serve God. You can go to therapy and love Jesus, right? So I want to encourage those who have aspirations of getting into real estate and getting into the investing portion. Do it. It's been great for my family. It's been great income, and I turned my pain into my purpose. And over this next few years, I plan to navigate real estate investing in a healthy way, but also providing places where people can come and stay, have rest, and have peace. I appreciate you for watching. I appreciate you for sharing my own journey. And I want you to comment below. I want you to comment below, even if it's not real estate investing. What's something that has been painful in your life that you can turn into purpose? Think about it. What's something in your life that has been painful in your life that you can turn into a purpose? Thank you for watching again. Remember, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Love you all. Grace and peace and blessings to you all. Have a good day.